In a small village surrounded by majestic mountains, there lived a young man named Adam. Known for his eagerness to learn, Adam struggled with his studies. His grades were low, and over time, he began to feel defeated and worthless. Every morning, Adam woke up to his father's harsh words. "How long will you stay like this? You're wasting your future." At school, he faced the mocking laughter of his classmates. Even at home, his mother's sympathetic looks made him feel worse. One day, after receiving another poor grade, Adam couldn't take it anymore. He decided to escape from everything. He left the village and wandered aimlessly into the mountains. Hours passed, and eventually, he found himself at a small spring surrounded by trees. He sat there alone, staring at his reflection in the water. Suddenly, a calm voice interrupted his thoughts. "Why do you look so sad, young man?" Startled, Adam turned around to see an old man with a long white beard sitting on a nearby rock. The man wore a simple robe and carried a wooden staff. He seemed like a figure out of a storybook. "Who are you? And how did you get here?" Adam asked cautiously. The old man smiled and said, "I am just a man who has lived in these mountains for many years. I came to drink from the spring and found you here. Tell me, what burdens your heart?" Adam hesitated, but then let out a deep sigh and said, "I feel like a failure. No matter how hard I try, I can't succeed. Everyone sees me as a disappointment, and I just wanted to get away from it all." The old man nodded thoughtfully and said, "My boy, I see something in you that you don't see in yourself. May I share a story with you? It might change the way you think about your life." Curious, Adam agreed. The sage straightened his posture and began his tale. Once upon a time, right here in these mountains, there was a young eagle that fell from its nest during a storm. A family of chickens found the eagle and raised it as one of their own. The eagle grew up thinking it was a chicken. It was afraid of flying, content to walk on the ground and eat scraps like the others. One day, a hunter passed by and noticed the eagle among the chickens. Puzzled, he asked himself, "How can an eagle live like this?" The hunter caught the eagle and took it to the top of the mountain. He said to it, "You are an eagle, born to soar, not to live among chickens." Then he pushed the eagle off the cliff. At first, the eagle was terrified and thought it would fall to its death. But instinct took over, and it began to flap its wings. Slowly, it learned to fly and eventually soared high in the sky. As it was meant to, the old man looked into Adam's eyes and said, "You are like that eagle, my boy. Right now, you may be living like a chicken because you think you're weak, but you were born for something greater. The failures you experience now are simply preparing you to discover your true strength. If you never fall, you'll never learn to fly." Adam was silent for a moment, then said, "But how do I begin? It feels like I'm trying so hard, but I'm going nowhere." The sage smiled gently and replied, "Let me share with you 5 lessons I've learned in my long life. Set small goals and start with one step at a time. Don't try to solve all your problems at once. Focus on one subject or skill and give it your full effort. Learn from failure. Every mistake teaches you something valuable. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Be consistent, even if progress is slow. The eagle didn't learn to fly in a single day. Perseverance is more important than speed. Stop comparing yourself to others. Everyone has their own path. Someone else's success doesn't mean your failure. Believe in your potential. You are stronger than you think, but you'll only discover it when you challenge yourself." The sage stood up and pointed to the peak of the mountain, saying, "Every person who has achieved greatness faced moments of doubt and weakness. The path isn't easy, but it's worth the effort. Now go back to your village and start building yourself. One day, you'll thank me. Feeling a new sense of hope, Adam returned to his village with a lighter heart. He began to organize his time, sought help from his teachers, and kept trying, no matter how many times he stumbled. Years later, Adam became one of the most respected and successful men in the village. One day, as he walked near the mountains, he looked up at the peak and smiled, whispering, "Thank you, wise man of the mountain. Without you, I would never have learned how to fly. Failure is not the end. It's the beginning of a journey to discovery. Don't let your fears hold you back. You are stronger than you realize. Every fall teaches you how to rise, and every attempt brings you closer to soaring."